All right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS. This is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is episode 322. You heard that right, folks. 322 episodes from yours truly. This is a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. But before we get on with this show, we want to invite you, the new listeners who are not subscribed yet, to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS. This is awesome. If you want to make fun of our trophy list, you can add us on the PSN. I am Anchorless_81, and Mr. Jake Peters is JakeSaw01. I guarantee our friend cap is not, we're not capped out yet. I guarantee it. As a reminder, there's a video podcast as well. You can watch our show if you want on the YouTube channel. And for new and or long-time listeners, we have a Patreon. You can support our show for $1 a month. It's literally 100 pennies a month. That's like about 2 pennies a day. I think you can afford that. No, it's like 3 pennies a day. A little more than 3 pennies a day. Anyways, the Patreon tier is called the One and Only $1 Club. Head over to www.patreon.com/PS. This is awesome to become a $1 a month patron. Get a free die-cut vinyl sticker in the mail if you give us your address, and a shout out on the show. You also will have your comments and feedback read before other people's. And if we ever get to a point where like we get bigger, we might just say you gotta be a Patreon, a patron supporter, to interact with us vocally on the show. So anyways, with that out of the way, Jake, how are you doing, bud?
I don't know. I literally just walked in the door. I was working on something at work. Something caught on fire, and then I put that out real quick so I could run home and record the podcast. So, and I mean something literally caught on fire. So that's kind of cool. But
I'm sure your boss thinks it's cool.
Yeah, well, I was like the only one there, so it doesn't really matter. But I'll have to deal with it in the morning.
I hope he doesn't listen to our podcast.
I'm sure he doesn't. But
like everybody else in the world. Go ahead.
Right. But I hate when something goes wrong right before I leave work, because then I think about it all fucking night until the next day. And so that sucks. But other than that, I'm finally if my voice starts to sound weird, I apologize. I am finally getting over. You probably remember, if you listened to the episode last week, I was saying that I was sick over the weekend. Well, after the episode last week, I took a fucking nosedive again, and I was just like super ill like the entire week up until like Saturday. Because I ended up developing a sinus infection, and so just felt absolutely terrible until about Saturday, where I started feeling a little bit better. But I still got a lot of like drainage shit going on. So like sometimes I'll lose my voice and stuff, or I'll get froggy, and it just like kind of comes in and out. So if I start sounding weird, it's probably why.
Fair enough.
But other than that, I'm feeling better today, other than breathing in some smoke right at the end of the day. So hopefully that doesn't make things worse again. But I'm, happy that I'm feeling better.
Very good, man. Yeah. I had a month of 0 shows in April. I played March. So, man, I'm just fucking chomping at the bit to get out and play some concerts on the weekends. The weather is kind of nice, but it's not like right now, like mid 50s is fantastic. We're still just getting into the beginning of April. I got home from work today and I went and took a run. It's weird because I'm not like in shop shape, or whatever you want to say, tip-top shape. I'm not, but I am losing a lot of weight considerably just through eating better eating habits. And then I've been doing a lot of walking, for anyone who's curious, and been getting back to the running. And I've only got like 8 or 9 miles in this summer, which isn't bad considering it's been fucking miserable outside and I don't run indoors anymore. So not bad, but I went to the track today after work, Well, first off, I had to go to Home Depot to get some more salt for the water softener. And while I was there, I realized that I thought I threw down weed and feed, which you're supposed to do at the beginning of spring to get rid of the weeds. So pre-emergent is what they call this. And I think what I actually threw down was turf builder. So I kind of fucked up because I just had a bag of it and I just threw it down. And I was like, oh, shit, I didn't mean to do that. So now I think that I've mistakenly given the weeds food. So I went and bought some weed and feed. And my yard is so small. Like, it's not even a big deal. One bag was like $30 or something. I got it. Same shit I used last year. And I know you're not supposed to use turf builder and weed and feed at the same time because you can nuke your lawn. But I'm going to fucking go for it. I'm going to throw the weed and feed on. We'll see what happens. So.
Does it really matter? I mean, if your fucking lawn is dead for the first so many weeks of the year, is it really gonna bug you?
No,
I mean,
I just hate the fucking weeds.
Looks like shit for a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So I did that, and then I ran to Giant Eagle, which is a grocery store we have here, which I'm learning there's not everywhere. We have a grocery store in Pennsylvania called Giant Eagle, and
Pittsburgh based.
Yes. And got some groceries, and then I had to go pick up some prescriptions at CVS. And I don't know if our listeners, fitting, we have a listener whose name is literally Prescript N. So, dude, what the fuck is up with all these pharmacies and their automated systems? Like, I have to take daily medicine for a genetic heart issue that I have. So it sucks because, like, I get my refills. I get, one refill is good for 3 months. It's a 90-day supply, right? It's a daily thing, 36.90. And I'll get these fucking texts. I go through CVS Pharmacy, and I get these text messages, dude. And they're like, would you like us to refill your medicine? And I'm looking at my fucking container, and I've got at least a month and a half left. And I'm like, no, because I'm going to say yes, and then you're going to say, you have 7 days to come pick it up. It's like, I don't fucking want to come pick it up yet. So I ignore the messages. And then, like, literally every 3 days, would you like us to refill your prescription? Would you like us to type no if you don't want us to? And I'll literally type no, and then it'll be like, okay, we will not. And then literally like 5 days later, would you like us to refill your prescription? It's like, just fucking leave me alone. I will call it in when I want a refill. So I gave in. I fucking gave in because these messages kept fucking coming to my phone. And I say yes, refill it. In the meantime, I've got a month's worth of supply at the house. And it's like, I'm like, okay, it's refilled. And now, not to confuse this with calling in a refill from your doctor. So your doctor, when they write the prescription to the pharmacy, they say this is good for like 3 refills. When that exhausts, then the pharmacy or myself have to get a hold of the doc and say, hey, will you put another prescription through? So when the refills due, they can fucking do it legally. I understand all this, but they are specifically asking, do you want us to use one of your available refills to get the bottle ready for you to come pick up? And I say no, 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 every week. Do you want us to do it? Do you want us to do it? No. I give in. And I literally get a message 2 days ago that says, if you do not come and pick up your refill, we're going to dispose of it. And it's like, oh, I'm going to fucking hit the roof. I'm like fucking going off in my head. I'm like, this is fucking unbelievable. So I go in, I get my refill. And even with insurance, like, it's kind of expensive. Like, it's not expensive. Like, I should have creme de la creme insurance with my job. And I still have to pay like almost $30 for a refill, which is crazy. But like, so it's like, I think they just fucking want money. Like, this has nothing to do with actually providing good customer service. Nothing. They just want their fucking money, and they don't want me to go to another pharmacy. Well, what they're going to fucking do is drive me to another pharmacy because I've about had it. I'm like over it. It's so annoying. Ugh, it doesn't matter.
They're all bad. It doesn't matter. They're all bad. The
Why?
next one you go to will be exactly the same. It's absolutely fucked up. I don't understand. It should just be like,
I say don't. I say no. I don't want these text messages. They still fucking happen. And then when I fucking go there, they go, "Would you like to sign up for text messages?" And I'm like, I'm getting them all the fucking time. I don't need to sign up. You guys have them. And they're like, oh, it looks like you do. I'm sorry about that. We have to ask that. And it's like, oh my God, just fucking kill me now. Just, it's over. Like, just, I'm done. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm just,
it's really bad. What's worse, so like, just the whole idea of, in my opinion, it would be better if you would just at the beginning commit to them and say, I'm committing to doing all of these refills at CVS. And then they just call you 5 days before your prescription is due and say, your new refill is ready. That's all. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to call it in. You don't have to do anything. And it's just like, you just, at the beginning, you just commit to it, and then they just refill it automatically until your refills are out. But Sarah, she has her ADHD med is a controlled substance. And so she's only allowed to get 30 days at a time. And like, it's one of those things where it's not an SSRI, but like if you're on one, like you can think about, or like blood pressure medication or something like that, where like if you miss a day, it fucks you up. Like you can't just like not take it. But they're like, oh, this is a controlled substance because it's an upper. So you're not allowed to call in to renew your prescription until 1 day before you run out.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, dude, all the time.
They get you by the balls then.
All the time, she fucking like has to suffer through a day without this shit or something because it'll be like a Saturday and she'll run out and the pharmacy's not open or she forgot about it or something.
Right.
And
or she's out of state, or she's on vacation, or she's got like some school shit that she can't get there by the time that the pharmacy closes. It could be a number of things.
But it's like, dude, I get that it's a controlled substance, but it's not like, dude, people aren't fucking using it that hardcore. I mean, come on, do you really need to be that much of a dick about it? It's like because of the whole meth craze, like they crack down on decongestants, like
dude,
like
there
Sudafed
are
and stuff.
way cheaper street drugs that people get way better highs off of than that.
Dude, I would use Claritin D occasionally for my shit, and they are so fucking hard on decongestants that I went and bought a box once, and I got it at the Walmart pharmacy because, you know, you can just kind of walk up and they take your driver's license and you get it or whatever. And I had all my groceries, and somewhere between the store and my car, I lost it. Like it fell out of the cart or something, because it's not like you don't get it at checkout. You have to like carry it through the store with you, and like, so somewhere along the line, I lost it. Couldn't find it anywhere. So I go back and I'm like, oh, well, it's not like fucking, you know, Oxycontin or something. They should have a little bit of leeway where I can get, you know, some more of this or whatever. And they're like, no, you just bought some. You can't buy any more for 30 days. So, and this was like peak allergy season. That's why I wanted it. Yeah. So I was like fucking dying for 30 days because they're like, they don't allow for any overage at all. It's like, no, you can't have one extra pill. You can only have exactly the amount. And it's like, I get
it, but I don't get it. It's like, do you have a criminal record? Like, can't they do like a criminal record check and like be like, dude, did you ever been busted for like fucking paraphernalia or drug charges or possession, or like, you know, is this guy, you know, do you have a steady job? Would be one of the questions. Like, there honestly,
or maybe
should be like everyone should have a fucking file on them willingly,
or maybe just look at my usage. Say for the last fucking 15 years, I've used less than one dose a day. Most of the time it's like, you know, maybe like a third of the days of the year or something I actually take this shit.
Yeah.
And so like this one time I need to buy a second box or something because I fucking lost it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, they're like, nope, you can't do that. And I get it. Like, we're not the ones that have to build these systems to make them bulletproof and all this stuff. And it's, I guess it's better to be more strict than less strict, but it's like, fuck it. If somebody wants to buy a bunch of freaking decongestants and make meth with it, who fucking cares? I don't care. Just it, I mean, I guess that's kind of like a
YOLO.
libertarian thing where it's just like, dude, if someone wants to do fucking heroin, let them do heroin. I don't give a shit. But why is it that I have to suffer as a law-abiding citizen?
Because all it takes is one rotten apple, Jake. Here's the thing. I think that everyone should have an option to opt into a system where they can just fucking look at everything you do. Like, you know what I mean? To avoid situations like this. Like if you participate willingly, they know how long you've been employed at your current employer, right? They know if you've ever missed a fucking payment on anything in your life, and if you did, when it was. They know if you've ever let your fucking vehicle inspection go out of due. They know everything about your fucking shit that would literally move the needle to this guy's probably 100% legit. And if you opt into this so that these places can just fucking look and be like, yeah, this guy, he's probably being honest here, then I would do it. 100%.
Well, I mean, it's just your credit score, man. Just
kind of. Give it to everyone. I don't give a fuck. It's great.
If my credit score is over 800, I should be trusted with one extra dose.
Right, yeah, and mine is
That's
also.
all
it's just
I'm
like,
saying.
fuck, man. It's just thanks to this podcast and all the money we're making here.
Yeah,
It's the only way
we
can
can stop bitching about fucking pharmacies, because I could go on for days about how fucked up our health and care
It's
system
just fucking
is in
annoying,
the United
man. It's just annoying. I'm trying to think. Oh, one thing I bought recently on Amazon, and I don't have them yet. And then this isn't a endorsement of Amazon by any means, but dude, my Yaris is a 2009 Yaris, and in the driver's seat they have airbags built into the sides, and then they also have airbags in the column, and then they have airbag in the steering wheel, and then the passenger side has the same shit, right? The safety ratings on the Toyota Yaris hatchback are 2 out of 5 stars. You're gonna fucking die probably if you get in a high-speed collision in that. You're gonna get really fucked up. But they have these airbags. Where I'm going with this is, my car has definitely seen better days. There's a little bit of rust on the outside. The driver's side seat now has a hole worn into it, probably from all the fucking ass I'm ripping while I'm driving. No, honestly, it's from my wallet chain. I know it is. Or my chain wallet, or whatever the fuck I'm going to call it. And my keys or whatever. When I sit in, I take the keys off my belt loop. But there's a hole in the driver's side seat now. And I'm like, God, it looks like trash. So I bought these seat covers. They're supposed to fit the Yaris. I have no fucking idea. But they're not full seat covers, because they advise against them because it can fuck with airbags. If you have airbags in your seats, you get just these covers. They're literally just covers that go over top. And it's this company, I forget what they're called. But I did a lot of research, and everyone's like, yeah, if you get them, just get these. These are still airbag compliant because they don't interfere with the getting in the way of the stitching and stuff. So I got them. I'm kind of excited to see if they look half decent or not, and how well they hold. They were I don't know, it was $70 for two. They weren't super cheap. They weren't like the Walmart brand. They were a little nicer. And then Amazon has this feature where you tell it what make and model you have of your car. When you look for window wipers or whatever, it's what vehicle are you shopping for? And you click whatever vehicle you're looking for. And then it'll be okay, everything listed below should be compliant with your car, which is actually really nice. So we will see when those come in. I think I'm supposed to get them tomorrow, but I'm going to wait for nice weather to install them. But I'm just tired of looking at that fucking seat ripped up. It's just kind of fucking bothering me, honestly. I don't know. I've gotten in and out of that car literally probably 100,000 times or more. For sure. No doubt in my mind. Anyways, yeah, let's talk about games. Every episode we talk about games we're currently playing. This episode is no different. And if you're hearing any rustling, I apologize. I have this jacket on, and it's got that sound to it. So it's a windbreaker. So you can imagine what the rustling might sound like. And you're just going to have to fucking deal with it this show. It's not so cold down here that I want to wear a jacket, but it's also not warm enough that I don't want to have long sleeves on. This is the first thing I grabbed before I came down. Games we're playing. Jake, I finally have broken my gaming deficit. This weekend, I was literally pacing around the house. I was so fucking restless all weekend. There was no band practices. It was Easter. You know, I did some stuff at with the families, and dude, it's just Pirates baseball is good right now, but like I just can't fucking sit still. And I had issues, so I powered up The Devil in Me, which is the Dark Pictures Anthology episode, and I gotta say, I'm fucking in. Of course, a fucking 4 out of 4. Oakman loves these games. You know, this is the fourth one. I'm dialed in. I like it. It's way less gameplay than the other ones so far. But I'll give you the premise real quick because I don't think they were really transparent with what the premise of this game is. And then I'll let you talk about what you're playing, and then we'll move on to some listener feedback and then the news. So this game starts off as most Dark Pictures Anthologies games do with like, oh, back in the day, these people get fucked, and you get to play those people before they get fucked. And what it is, it's the old World Travelers Fair Hotel. And I think this guy was a real person. And it's based on his hotel, and he was an architect, and he did all these things. And his name was H.H. Holmes. And he was stationed out of New Hampshire. And he is real. He was a swindler and a trickster. He is the country's first known serial killer. He was born in 1861. So you go into his hotel, and you're part of this honeymoon, this group of people that are honeymooning. Man and woman. And the way these games work, you can play it 2 players, and if someone else play her or you play him or vice versa. But I'm playing it single player, and you control their actions and you control the things that they do, and you get to watch them. You know, there's no way out of it. Like, they get fucking brutally killed. Here's where the twist is. Smash got to present time. There's a film crew that are apparently really struggling with getting like their TV show good ratings. And to be a hit. There's a director, there's like the news anchor lady, there's like the sound person, there's the camera guy, and then I think there's somebody else, maybe the writer. And they're doing a special on this H.H. Holmes serial killer. And they are sure that what they have so far is going to fucking tank. And this guy's original hotel got demolished back in the day. The director gets a fucking call from some millionaire, some random guy that says, hey, you don't know who I am, but I've reconstructed the H.H. Holmes murder hotel. I would like you to come check it out. There will be a limo out front, at 7 o'clock if you choose to accept. So you and the fucking film crew go to this remote island, and there's this dude there, and he's like, I don't know, an antiquarian or whatever, and he's got this whole fucking hotel restored and rebuilt, and you go in, and shit just gets fucking weird, and it's awesome. The idea of this game is so interesting, and I think it's the love of story, which is why I really enjoy the Dark Pictures Anthology games, and they're more of like, I don't know, like there's just something really intriguing about how they get my attention, and I'm a fan of horror to begin with. The acting is okay. The graphics are meh. They're good sometimes. They're kind of meh other times. The gameplay isn't actually very great, but that doesn't mean that it's not a fun experience. And I'm fucking gripped by this thing, man. It's a really cool idea, and it's cool because it seems like you get to play all the different characters. The sound person, I just did a little bit of them where they have like the fucking microphone up, and like depending on where you're going, like the studio mic that picks up like the TV show, right? It picks up weird fucking sounds. You're supposed to fucking follow it through this hotel, and it's fucking creepy. And the guy with the camera or whatever is supposed to like get certain shots, and as you're trying to get them, like fucking shit will happen, and it's scary, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? And like, and then they have relationships with one another, and then the director's kind of an asshat, but he's also like, he really wants the show to succeed because he really wants everybody to do well, and these are all young people on his crew, and he's trying to like bring them up and like get them into like the business, and like it's fucking good, dude. It's a good game so far. Now it might turn for the worse, or it might wear out its welcome, but I'm glad I started it, and it's better than the last one I played, which I still thought was good. So far, it's better. Anyways, maybe I've piqued your interest. Maybe not. This is a studio that also.
I mean,
did
the premise is cool.
Yeah.
It's someday I'll sit down and play through some of those. I think that'd be something that would be neat for Sarah and I to do together. But yeah. I have to be in the right mood to play games like that anymore. It's not like, because I think what happened is that we got The Walking Dead season 1, and that was literally like a life-changing experience almost, and like the way that it affected you personally, and then kind of fell off of the Telltale stuff because it's just janky and kind of wasn't fun to play, even though the stories were usually pretty good and all of that. And then we got Until Dawn, which was after like this hiatus. Telltale had kind of fallen off for a while, and then Until Dawn came in. It's like this next-gen experience. It's this like campy teen horror kind of thing,
right,
and
right.
it's got these famous actors in it, and it ended up being great. And then some other shit kind of happened, and then it just kind of like it seems like this genre has these just huge peaks and then just like valleys. Like, it's like there'll be like one game that defines the genre, and then for years everything else is considered like not as good as that.
Right.
Until we all kind of forget about it, and then the next one comes in and it's like, holy shit, that's amazing. And then nothing's as good as that for a while.
Yeah.
And but I'm kind of like you in that while I may not love these kinds of games, I'm an easy mark for the stories of these kinds of things. Like, it can be written like shit and have plot holes and all this stuff, and as long as they're not like egregious and irritating as fuck, I can overlook certain things and enjoy what I'm experiencing as long as the delivery is good. So I have to imagine that if I sat down and played these games, that I probably would like them. Yeah. So one of these days, I think I am gonna give them a shot here, just to try it out, But I just don't know when I'll get to it.
Yeah, they are fun, man. I will definitely say that. I really enjoy them, dude. But I don't know. I don't want the listeners to think that they're fucking the best thing since fucking sliced bread. You know what I mean? They're not. But for anyone who enjoys just an easygoing kind of game that has some like timing prompts and has like character decisions that actually has also multiple endings based on your choices. Like, not every character gets to live in these games. Tons of trophies to unlock, different paths you can take, tons of collectibles. They are done as well as these games have ever been done. Really, I think that Supermassive has their thumb right on it. Like, I don't know what else they can do better, really. Especially with the number of games that they've put out like this. This is the 4th Dark Pictures anthology game, and they also put out The Quarry, and they also did that other game, the first one that got everybody all psyched, Until Dawn. And from what I understand, they're doing that re-release of Until Dawn on PS5. So they're busy. They're a busy studio. And they also did Rush of Blood, and they did Switchbacks. So they're a fucking studio that puts out fucking games, dude. Like, they're not one of these studios that sits on their hands and doesn't fucking do anything. They've always got something coming out, and I think that alone is good considering I personally don't feel that they've released a fucking dud yet. I think all their games have been fine. There's really no problem. I don't have any issue with anything they've put out so far. So, I mean, that says a lot. They put out, what, fucking 7 games in the time that, Kill the Justice League came out? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, good on them. Anyways, Jake, what are you playing?
So I am still playing Final Fantasy. I'm coming up on 70 hours in that game. I've been since I've been sick, I've just been playing a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I'm at like the point of no return in the game, and like I'm just fucking off because I don't want to finish it.
Right.
Because I just enjoy, like I think about the fact that it's like, oh, it's probably going to be 4 more years until I get the resolution of this story. And like, there's this really depressing thing that happens like right at the end, like right where I'm at. And so like, I'm like, oh man, like when are they going to resolve this? Like, are they going to do it before the end of this game, or am I going to have to wait 4 years to figure out how they're going to fucking resolve it? And so like, I've just been going around just like doing all the side shit, except for like the only thing I haven't been doing is like the card game, like the card games, and the one that's like the mini battle game. I just don't really like those two experiences. But I did like all the chocobo races, and I did like all of the side content in the open worlds, other than what I mentioned. I will say that, like the random open world shit aside, the side quests in this game are way better than they were in Final Fantasy 16.
Really?
Or even Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Yeah, like there's a lot of them actually have like, because they all have there's like a relationship system in this game. And each side quest, you're like kind of paired with one of the party members as like part of the story of the side quest.
Yeah.
And so it incentivizes you to do these quests because it builds your relationships with these characters. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, not all of them are bangers, but I think a lot of them have like meaningful story elements to them. So that's kind of neat. But like all the random open world shit, like battle challenges and fucking watchtowers and like all this other crap is just kind of like whatever. I don't really care that much about all that stuff. I've been doing it just because I don't want to do the end of the game. But and then so I've been doing that. I'll probably finish that this week because I literally have nothing left to do in the game other than the end of it. So because I don't want to play the card game, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to play like the mini battles or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But when I say the mini battles, it's like, do you remember there was that mini game in Final Fantasy VII Remake where it was like the board game, like the tabletop board game where you would control the soldiers and they would like kind of slowly walk towards each other, and you had to like mix and match them so that they would cancel each other out and stuff. It's that game. So not like the actual combat challenges; those are fine.
Yeah.
But so outside of that, I actually downloaded the Stellar Blade demo. And I played that for like an hour. I didn't finish it because I was like, I should get through Final Fantasy VII. Then I'll come back to this because I might want to jump right into this game if I really like it. It's got super hardcore Nier Automata vibes.
Yeah.
Like just like in the setting, the post-apocalypticness, the savior soldier that like comes down from space, like all this. It's not quite the same. Like everyone's human, like they're not robots and shit. Like it's and then like, but like the enemies are like these really crazy fucking gross looking creatures, which is kind of cool. And the combat is tactical in that you have like there's like parrying and blocking involved, but it doesn't seem to be as hardcore as like a Souls game or something like that. it seems a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah.
But I've only played it for a little bit, so maybe it gets really crazy. But they do have an easy mode, if like a story mode, if you're not really into like these like if you're not interested in doing the combat like that. The one thing I will say, and I'm sure this is probably gonna cause a stir if it hasn't already, is there's a lot of TNA in this game. Just all over the place, man. These fucking suits that these girls are wearing are just they are just
pretty provocative, huh?
There's something, yeah. Like you have she has like a suit that she wears when you first like get out of your drop pod or whatever at the beginning, and it's pretty provocative. But then you can actually go into the settings and actually unequip that so that you're just wearing your skin suit, and it's just like she's basically naked. Like you might as well just it's just missing the nipples basically, and and I don't really have a problem with it one way or another. Like it's I feel like we've reached a point in society where we can appreciate the beauty of something that's fake without objectifying women in the same breath. You know what I mean? Like, while I would say that like, because I think the whole idea is that like, if you like, that's what they think the ideal woman is, and everybody should think that a woman should be like that, and it puts pressure on women to be like that and all that stuff, and that's bad. Like we should definitely not do that. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like if you see a painting of a beautiful woman that's curvy and everything like that, I think we've reached a point where we can separate the two, where it's like, okay, I can appreciate that that's beautiful while also understanding that it's not an image of reality and that women don't have to abide by that. And that's not the only vision of beauty for women and blah, 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 blah. So it doesn't really bother me so much when I'm playing it. Like, I'm just like, oh, this combat's cool, and like this character looks crazy. Like, she's got this real long ponytail, it's flipping all over, and she's doing these crazy moves. And, but I could see it causing a stir. Yeah, you know what I mean, as far as like some negative feedback as far as that goes. So I'll be interested to see how that kind of. If that kind of, I know that there's been some hubbub about it, but it's not been like. I understand that,
dude. I think also, you know what I mean? Though, like, part of me is like, it's also okay to be conventionally fucking hot and attractive. Like that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that either. I get both sides of it, you know what I mean? But I feel like there's always a ton of pushback, and this might be a hot take, but I'm just like, dude, let people be whoever the fuck they want to be, and let people dress or wear whatever the fuck they want to wear. I understand that there might be a stigma or something, or like, you don't want to create a situation where women are objectified, right? And I think that like everybody, when it comes to stuff, I don't know, man. There's I think with video games and with like manga and like all this fucking stuff from Japan and Korea or wherever, you know what I mean? Like that is a lot of the fucking art direction. For better or for worse, it's part of the culture. And I'm not saying you got to agree with it.
Yeah. Well, don't you feel like the way that I look at it is that I feel like a lot of this argument comes from a time when you remember, like, let's say 20 years ago, we didn't have the internet that we have today.
Oh, yeah.
So when you would get a kid would get a video game that would have, like, these big-tittied anime girls in it. Like, they didn't know any better because they weren't, you weren't exposed to a wider world.
Right.
But today, like, we're also saturated with how the world works because everybody is exposed to everything on the internet.
Right.
And I think that's one of the positive things about, I mean, I have a lot of problems with the internet today, but I think one of the positive things is that I feel like everybody now has so much exposure that while there's still a ways to go in this regard, I feel like people more generally understand that that is not an image of reality like maybe they would think of 20 years ago before we had all of this regular exposure via the internet. So
yeah, it's just
and I mean,
interesting.
I guess this topic is
leave it to two
a little
dudes to
bit
fucking talk about, right?
So like, yeah, I don't know that like if a group of various women of different backgrounds were to come to me collectively and all of them were to agree like this is bad, this objectifies us and it makes us feel bad and we don't want to have this in the world, then I would be like, okay, well then maybe we should work on that. But if it comes if the theory is that creating this content makes the people that are consuming this content believe a certain way about women and treat women a certain way,
right?
Then I know based on my own experiences with women in my life and my experiences in the world that I am able to mentally separate the two. And so, and I can look like more often than not nowadays when I see a game like Stellar Blade or like Tifa in Final Fantasy VII Remake, that to me looks more like it doesn't look real. You know what I mean? Like it looks fake. So, I don't see
it's like a caricature
like
and be like something, right? It's like when you go to like the fucking circus and there's an artist with a big easel and he's like, here, sit down, I'll draw a picture of you. Like it's a fucking
caricature. Yeah. Like I think what's worse than big titted anime girls in Japanese games are these like social media filters and stuff that are like making girls like realistically look way hotter than they are in reality. And I'm not saying girls shouldn't have the power to make themselves look however they want whenever
conventionally
they're
more
posting stuff
attractive
online.
Instead of hotter.
Right.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But like, because that's as old as time with makeup and all these other things. But at the same time, how do we know, like with AI and everything now, it's like what's real and what's not. Like,
Dude,
I don't fucking even know.
I use beautification filters all the time. No, I'm just kidding. But I have a funny story for you. And he's a gamer, and I'm not putting anyone on blast, but there's a guy in a pretty famous band that I did a show with recently in the Erie area. He played acoustic, and I played acoustic. And he took this picture of us and he posted it on his Instagram. He's like, oh, I've reconnected with Fred Oakman. And like, dude, he straight up fucking put some kind of weird ass filter. Like any lines that I had on my face were just fucking gone. And he posts this shit. And like, he's doing like fucking duck face. And it's like, doing the fucking thing. And this is a dude who's like literally like my age in his 40s, still trying to look like he's 22 in playing emo music and trying to keep that visage going. Cause he's really talented, dude, and he's a nice guy. But like, everybody uses those fucking filters, I think, and it's just weird. Like, why do we have such a crazy societal pressure to fucking look that way? I mean, granted, I don't want a fucking picture of me eating fucking nachos with my mouth open and my tongue stuck out with fucking pieces of nachos put up on Instagram. That can be like, yo, dude, come to my shows. I'm like, ah, you know what I mean? Like, you wanna look good, but like. The internet makes it really hard for people to be honest, because I feel like all it is an envy machine. Like all it does, like all this social media shit is just an envy machine. It just breeds envy and it breeds resentment and it breeds like the want to look better, to have more likes, to do all this, to do that, to do this, that, you know what I mean? It's so fucking awful. And I'm a part of all of it because I have to promote all of my fucking music shit on there because that's where people exist now. You got to go where the people are, right? So, but dude, it's so crazy. You're not wrong about anything that you said. But, dude, it's wild. I don't know. The internet is a fucked up place. And not to derail, but I will say this real quick. I just had to put a post out on my Facebook, my music Facebook page for Fred Oakman, my solo stuff. I have been getting 2 to 3 Facebook messages daily from fake accounts telling me that they're going to terminate my Facebook music page due to violation of content, something, whatever. And I know they're fucking bunk. I know they are.
Yeah.
But in the back of my head, I'm like, what if these things are fucking real? What if I get shut down by Meta? For some reason, I have no idea why. So I put a post out, and I just said, yo, I'm getting these fucking things. If I disappear for a while, I guess they weren't spam. But I'm not clicking shit, and I'm not looking at shit. And I know when these things come to me, I'm just moving them all to my fucking spam folder. I'm not even fucking reading them. I read like the first few lines. And on my post, I said, why do we as humans have to ruin every fucking good thing out there? Like, beautiful tool for connecting with people, beautiful tool for promoting yourself. And now it's just like everybody's just trying to impersonate everybody and try to get you to click shit so they can get your identity and make fake pages about you. And it's just like, fuck, man. Like, I'm just over it. You know what I mean? Like, everything turns to shit because of humans. I'm not even sure. Every fucking thing turns to literal shit because of us. We consume it and we shit it out and we make it worse.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It really is a bummer. I mean, you just even remember the early days of Facebook and MySpace and stuff, how like cool it was.
Yeah.
Just like connect with
ICQ,
friends
yeah.
and then just like, you know, share stuff to like with each other and everything. There were no ads. There was no like promotion. There was no like shit like that where you've got you know, you're getting freaking Pelotons on your feed or like, you know, like hyper political stuff or like any of this crap. It was just like, hey, you know, going down to the fucking sportsman's club.
Yeah.
You know, Lexus Jumps is playing tonight or some shit. It's like, okay, well, that's fucking dope. I'll meet you down there. You know what I mean? It's just like dumb stuff.
Well, dude,
like,
here's the crazy thing. So a lot of people here, I always have a hat on, but I fucking have been shaving my head for like ever, right? I've been doing this for fucking ever now, years. But I always have to have a hat on. And I've had a hat before I shaved my head. I've had it when I didn't. But like, here's the fucking thing. Every time I scroll through my fucking feed, I can't even tell you how many fucking targeted ads for like hair growth, hair regrowth fucking ad. Like, it's nonstop. And it's like, I feel kind of fucking personally attacked. I can't help that I have male pattern baldness and I fucking shave my head. It looks better this way anyways. And it's so low key and easy maintenance. But like literally every fucking day, it's like, hymns, do this, blah, 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 take this, blah, 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 blah. Here, you can, and I get these videos. It's so fucking, social media is great. They prey on our insecurities, man. But I'm not insecure about it. But so it doesn't fucking bother me. But I know what they're trying to do. And I get these fucking videos where it's like, they have these people, and like, well, before I tried, blah, 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 I couldn't get any dates. I couldn't do this. I felt like, I just felt like I was losing my youth. And it's like these fucking ads. But then I found blah, 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 and look at me now, bling, and it shows him like with a full fucking head of hair. And it's like, you motherfuckers, like, why do you have to do this all the time? Like, you're not going to get me, and you're not going to make me feel like shit. So it's just like, this is the fucking internet, man. This is what it has become. And I'm sure, like, if you feel like you're fat or something, they're probably trying to fucking market some kind of fucking weight loss tool to you. Or like some sort of fucking Peloton, like you said. Or they're trying to fucking, dude, it's just like, I'm fucking berated every day I'm getting pounded, you know, in an orifice by fucking advertisements about hair regrowth supplements. And it's like, what the fuck? Get over it, guys. Like, I don't give a shit.
And that's how a conversation about Stellar Blade turns into a conversation about male pattern baldness.
Yeah, that's how it works. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Let's move on.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about
I fucking
some games.
digress. Listener feedback. It's just annoying, man. Listener feedback. Every episode, we go over listener feedback. If you are a patron of the show, you can write us on Patreon, which is where we want you to write us. You can also write us on YouTube or just send us an email at psisawesome@gmail.com. But prescript_n writes in on Patreon, which means he is a subscriber of the show. So thank you very much again, Michael. I appreciate it. Michael writes in, And this, I was so happy to see this question. He goes, "Hey guys, Michael here. With WrestleMania 40 coming up this weekend and the recent release of WWE 2K24, I thought I should ask you guys if you are or have ever been fans of professional wrestling. Any favorite current or past wrestlers? I just recently got into WWE, and I'm a big fan of Cody Rhodes, who's challenging Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship this weekend. Also, bonus question, if you guys were wrestlers, what do you think your character would be, and would they be heels, villains, or baby faces, the good guys? I love listening and keep up the great work." Dude, Michael, thank you so much for this message. I died laughing when I read this message because I actually have a character already made up. So at my job, which I will never tell anybody what I do, but at my job, it's going to be a big mystery forever. This dude I work with and he is a big wrestling fan, huge wrestling fan. And we would just fucking joke around, talk about wrestling back in the day. And he got like I think WWF or WWE had their own subscription channel where you could watch all the old matches and shit. I don't know if it even still exists, but he had that. And we got to talking, dude. I was a big wrestling fan growing up. When I was like 7 to like 13, and that's not to say it's not good now. I just fell out. And I kind of went back a little bit, and then I kind of pulled back out again. I've got too many fucking hobbies, man, but I love wrestling. I love it. I will watch it if it's on TV. I think it's interesting and fun. It's loud. It's fucking boisterous. It's awesome. So I have been a big fan of wrestling, but it was back when it was WWF. Hogan, the $1 Million Man, Jake the Snake Roberts, fucking Ric Flair, fucking Coco Beware, fucking who's the guy who did all the fucking flips? Tito Santana or something like Tito Santana, I think was his name. It's fucking fantastic. Dude, I loved all of them. I loved the Ultimate fucking Warrior, Dusty Rhodes, the fucking the Legion of Doom. Dude, I could go on. I love the old school wrestling shit. That was my heart back in the day. Andre the fucking Giant, all of them. Rowdy Piper, dude. I don't even know. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I could just keep fucking going, dude.
It's like fucking Gold Dust and shit like that.
Yeah, dude. Fucking Tsunami. Yeah, Earthquake, Tsunami. I think Tsunami was one. Yeah, Gold Dust. Yeah, Yokozuna is who I'm thinking of. Maybe. Yeah, fuck yeah. Dude, I fucking loved that era. And I probably would like it now, but I have never really gotten back into it. I know The Rock is big. I've seen some screen grabs of him doing some shit recently. I know Roman Reigns. I know who that is. But so, dude, that's exciting. WrestleMania 40 is huge. It's fucking 40. That's crazy. But I will say this. So I answered your first question.
List right now. Yeah.
And I will say, George the Animal Steel was a good one back in the day. He had a green tongue. As far as a wrestler, I would be a villain. And I came up with the absolute best character, right? And I came up with this whole fucking spiel and how he gets introduced. And his name would be the General Practitioner, okay? And they would stage, or a wrestler would get wounded, right? They would get hurt in the ring. And this fucking dude would come out, and he'd have like fucking a doctor robe on or something and a stethoscope, but he'd be just fucking huge, right? And then whoever was like beating up the wounded guy, this guy would come in and intercede, and he'd just fucking kick the shit out of him because he would look like part of an emergency crew. He'd come out with an emergency crew, not just by himself. He's just fucking big dude. He's carrying a stretcher or something. And then this guy just keeps wailing on this guy, and he fucking just goes to town and beats the bad guy up, or whoever's hurting the guy. And the announcers are just saying like some shit like, "I can't fucking believe it. What's going on?" You know, they're going crazy. "Can you believe what's going on? Yeah, he's out of the ring." You know, just pandemonium ensues. And then you think he's going to rescue the guy, but he just fucking puts a hurting on him. He picks him up and he does like some sort of signature move. And I think the signature move would be something called like the antidote or something. He does this fucking maneuver you've never fucking seen before. And the announcer goes, "And he hit him with the antidote." And boom, he goes down. And then the General Practitioner announces who he is. He grabs the mic and he says, "You know, I'm fucking here, baby." And then he leaves. And then what's going to happen is his tagline is this. And I have this all mapped out. And I was going to try to sell it to Sergeant Slaughter when I met him. That's another wrestler. So I met Sergeant Slaughter, long story short, because he's a G.I. Joe character. But so the idea would be like they do these spots where they antagonize, these little video vignettes, right? Where they antagonize their opponents that they're getting ready to go fight or whatever. It'd be like, Jake Peters, here you are walking around like you own the town, thinking your shit don't stink. Well, I got something to say to you. You make me wanna... Let's get blah, blah, blah on the line. And they get someone on the line, and he calls up somebody, and he's having his conversation, and he goes, so what I was saying was, you roll around in your fancy car, you roll around with your pretty women, but eventually he gets to the tagline, and he goes, and I got one thing to say. You make me, and he goes, sick. And I've got a cure for you. And it's coming, baby. And then his thing is like, all of his maneuvers are called like the antidote, like the prescription, the fucking whatever the hell else, whatever you want to call it, I don't even know what it would be, but it's all medical terms, like the pressure cuff or something. Like he would be this doctor-oriented guy that is just a little crazy, and he wants to cure everybody because they make him fucking sick. And he wants us to fucking get rid of the plague. I was so happy to see you write this question because I already have them made up. The general practitioner, it'd be me. I'd be that motherfucker. And I'd have to work on my banter a little bit, but I know the direction. And I think people would just fucking love this guy. You know what I mean? I could see him talking to like... He would be like even a heel to the heels. He's a lone wolf kind of character that nobody fucking wants to mess with. And like maybe he has a syringe and he fucking like Jake the Snake Roberts would fucking let his fucking put people in the sleeper and put a snake on them. And like they do, maybe he has a syringe and he gives somebody a fucking hot shot or something on, you know what I mean, on the tarmac. And that's his move when he fucking knocks you out cold. At the end, he goes over and he gets a fucking injection, and you get it. They can make that work. And then the bad guy starts fucking foaming and shit at the mouth. It'd be so fucking good. Anyways, Jake, what about you?
Dude, I've just been like, while I was listening to your idea, I was just like looking through a list of just 90s fucking WWF stars.
Oh,
like,
man.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
Do you remember the fucking Road Warriors tag team?
Yeah, they were so good, dude. It's like the Legion of Doom almost, right?
Yeah, they had the shoulder pads and shit. Dude, fucking Triple H. Like there's so many good ones. And I never really even watched wrestling, but I always thought that the characters were cool, and honestly, my biggest exposure to it was the toys. Yeah. People had the toys of the action figures of the wrestlers, and I always thought they were so fucking cool. Yeah. But I never really watched it because for whatever reason, like my parents didn't want me to watch it. So like I never watched it a whole lot. And by the time I was old enough to do whatever I wanted, I just didn't give a shit anymore. But
the Big Boss Man, remember him?
Yeah, oh yeah. But like the other exposure I had to it was through video games, and specifically I remember going over to a friend's house, and his
you're cutting out.
Older brother had one of the big he had one of the big WWF games on N64. I think it was either No Mercy or Warzone, like one of those kind of games. Yeah. And I remember playing that and thinking that it was like some of the coolest. It was like a fighting game, but like somehow more awesome because the characters were crazy, the moves were crazy, the gameplay was just kind of great, and I remember really having fun with that. But as far as like the like watching it and stuff, I never really never really got that into it. Now, if I was gonna be a character in WWF, I think that being a heel would be way more fun than being a hero, right? But I think that it would be cool to have, like, I'm of two minds of it. I either want to go like way over the top and be one of these like overwhelmingly costumed characters, like with some really, really like extravagant fucking costume, you know, like the Ultimate Warrior or something like that, or the Road Warriors or whatever, where it's like, you know, you've got a mask and you've got like the flare and all this other kind of shit.
You should be like a hockey player, like a goalie or something. Just come out in fucking goalie gear.
Or just like someone like a Casey Jones type, or or imagine I don't know if you're familiar with the anime Fooly Cooley, or sometimes it's shown as FLCL, but like one of the main characters in that show is this girl who beats the shit out of things with a guitar. Like that's like her weapon of choice, is she has a bass guitar that she just beats the shit out of things with. And I think that like having like something like that would be kind of cool. Or but like the other thing that I thought would be kind of awesome would be like, do you remember Kane?
Oh yeah, he was cool.
Like just one of these guys that was just a totally normal dressed dude, but was just came across as like a straight up fucking psychopath. Like he just walked around with an axe, or like, you know, like almost like a, you know, like a, not like a Hills Have Eyes type, because that's kind of like deformity and shit, but like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing, or
Mankind kind of had that a little bit.
Yeah, like Mankind, or even like, I think another thing that would be kind of neat was if you were to be like the sideshow character, like Paul Bearer or something like that. I think would be
the manager that no one likes.
Yeah, like one of these guys that just like isn't actually in the ring, but you're like part of the spectacle.
Once in a while you take a punch or something, you get body slammed by somebody because they're, you know.
Or you just like appear out of nowhere to cheap shot.
Yeah,
like
you throw a chair in the ring or something. You slide a chair in for your guy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that there could be like you're talking about with your medical doctor guy.
Yeah, general practitioner.
Like imagine if like he had a like a nurse sidekick.
Oh, that'd be so
where
good.
Like whenever his opponent is on the ropes, like he or she like reaches in and injects something into his leg, and then he like falls down.
So
and it's
good.
Like, oh fuck! Like, you know, like that kind of character I think would be so dope. Or you know, maybe someone that was just like a hype man that came in with like fireworks and shit, like shooting stuff off.
That'd be so fun, dude.
Like, I don't know.
I just love, dude, wrestling wouldn't be the same without the announcers. Like the announcer is like the nurse has the syringe. I could see, I don't know, Bobby, it looks like she got a syringe in her hand. I don't know, what do you think? I don't think, oh, they got to get it with a syringe. You know, and the back and forth is so fucking good. And it's just like gets you fucking rattled. It's probably like, why I have ADHD, to be honest. God damn.
Yeah, it'd be so funny.
You can't subject kids to G.I. Joe and WWF and like all this fucking loud, crazy shit and expect them to turn out fucking regular.
Dude, you know who fucking looked awesome was Sting. He had that face
like
paint.
The Crow. He looked like the Crow or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked fucking awesome. Like, I think being a guy like that, obviously you can go farther back, and then you get like the really flamboyant guys like Randy Savage and the Hulk. And
yeah, right. So good.
Yeah, like shit like that. Mick Foley was dope because he had like that mask, like that crazy mask and shit. But
dude, there's so many options though. But one thing I've never seen is something like the general practitioner, like a medical dude.
Unless like, I mean, it like in the pantheon of fucking WWE, WWF, like there have been so many just random characters that have come and gone that like aren't in anyone's.
Remember Brutus
memory,
the Barber
like,
Beefcake? He would cut people's hair. That was his fucking shtick. He would just cut people's like beautiful 80s hair off their head, shave their head. Like
That's fucking
that was
funny.
his thing. All these pretty
But
boys.
yeah, it was just there's just so many cool like everybody had their shtick,
dude, yeah, no. Like, I remember specifically scenes at Bruce Barber Beefcake, like clipping someone's hair with clippers, and they're just kind of out of it, but they're like acting as if it's like hurting them, like like this, like you know, and it's like somebody's Goldilocks are just getting shaved off their head. It's so good.
Just even like when I was growing up was like the height of Stone Cold Steve Austin,
yeah.
and he would fucking smash the beers together and like drink them on stage and shit. Like it was just
so over the top.
For someone who wasn't a fan of, like, didn't watch wrestling, the fact that it still permeated my existence to that degree is pretty amazing. Like it says a lot about
like the New World Order and all that shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so crazy.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I don't know if that answers your question.
Enjoy WrestleMania 40, Mike.
But yeah, have fun.
We had one more write-in. This is just kind of an aside. Somebody commented on a short I put up about whether or not we would see Punisher in the new Wolverine game. This person indicates that what we need is a new Punisher game with the return of the interrogation system and special kills. I don't understand what they're referencing, but I can only imagine that the interrogation system is just a method of torturing bad guys to get them to talk, which sounds awesome in a Punisher game, to be honest. But that comes from Tommy Banner 04 Gaming Time 56. What a fucking name.
Yeah, I think that there was like I'm looking at it now. It looks like there was a Punisher game in 2005, and they had like an interrogation execution system in it. So, dude, the Punisher is one of those franchises that I think could come back and be like a legit, like serious M-rated fucking shooter, like third person,
like an awesome
shooter
game.
kind of.
Yeah,
and it would be great without being like this over-the-top superhero kind of experience.
What they need to do with the Punisher game is make it feel, minor spoiler for The Last of Us Part 1, make it feel like how it feels the first time Joel fucking kicks that dude in the face that's like fucking pinning Ellie down. Like, put you in fucking situations where you're saving children and you're taking out like child molesters and you're taking out fucking drug dealers that are just fucking assholes, and you're literally cleaning up the bullshit on the street as the Punisher. That these fucking vengeance missions would just feel so fucking good to take these asshats out. Like, I love the idea of just like you rolling into like, imagine being the Punisher and rolling into fucking Compton, right? In the fucking video game. And all these Bloods and Crips and all these fucking people that are just like, oh, you want to fuck with us? You want to fuck with us? And then you're the fucking Punisher and you get to just throw down on people because they're like fucking clearly bad news and they're trying to fuck with you and you're like, leave me alone. Because the Punisher will always be like, you don't want to do this. I'm just walking here. Please step aside. And then it's always these street toughs that want to fuck with them, right? And it's like, oh, he thinks he's Mr. Tough Guy, you know? And then you just get to fucking just pummel these people. It'd be so fun to do in a video game. It would feel so good to do those things. Maybe I'm projecting a little bit. Maybe I would love to do this in real life. But let's do it in a fucking video game.
I mean, it would be great because like a lot of the villain. I mean, I'm not a comic book person, so maybe I'm out of turn here. But a lot of the Punisher bad guys and villains and stuff, they're a little more grounded than, you know. I know
it's
that
like
crosses
cartel
over
members and shit. I mean,
I know it crosses over with more of the superhero-y kind of shit.
It does.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like they could make it. Would almost be like, you know, I can imagine it being similar to like a really high budget John Wick game or something that, where it's like, you know, you just have John Wick is a little bit more gun fu, whereas the Punisher is a little bit just more like brute military action.
Yeah, right.
But like, I think that it could be fucking like, you could imagine there being like a crossover in an M-rated Wolverine game where you would see the Punisher come in and not necessarily team up with Logan, but like maybe there's a side mission where the Punisher is just like fucking shit up or something, or like what I don't know,
Dude,
like
even like maybe because the Punisher isn't a fucking superhero, dude. He has no superhero powers, none.
yeah,
Whatsoever.
he's not
just
even rich like Batman.
Yeah, he's just a
dude with
fucking
guns.
poor dude who lives in a van who's like got nothing left to fucking lose, right? That's it. So like maybe he's been captured. Maybe he's getting his ass kicked and Wolverine for whatever reason owes him one. And you got to go fucking, and then you save the Punisher in like a side mission, but then he fucking brawls alongside you for a little bit, or fucking like is like, hey, you better get out of here. You know, I got this place wired to blow or something. And then you're like, all right, let's fucking roll. And then, you know, he does his thing. And he's like, we'll see you around, you know. And then that's it. That would be fucking awesome.
It would be cool, yeah.
All right, dude, let's get to the news, man. We've been talking way too fucking long this episode. We're giving the listeners what we haven't given them in a while, which was a long podcast. Every episode we talk about news, and we're going to kick right in and probably just blow through these pretty quick. Unicorn Overlord Vanillaware game. It's actually on track to be their fastest selling game, and I know that they announced a demo, and there was a playable demo of this, and Jake, I never did get it. Did you ever play this or no?
Unicorn Overlord?
Yeah.
No, I didn't play this one. I think it looks great, but I've heard there's kind of a lot to the combat and the gameplay, and I don't know, like I'm not really in the zone right now to want to commit to a game like that is all. But it looks great. It looks great.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, next thing is this. I took today's April Fools. We're recording this on April Fools. I've not been fooled once by any April Fools jokes. Nobody has tried to get me, but I pulled this off Push Square, and I think that it's legit. So I'm going to say this, and if they fucking got me, they fucking got me, and we can laugh about it later. Well, they said that Sony is going to be branding games that are going to actually have enhancements if you use alongside the PS Pro system. And the games are going to come with a enhanced like sticker or tag on them so that you know that like this game is going to be better if you get it with the PS Pro. So to earn the rating, they say that there must be a better target resolution on the Pro, an improved target max resolution over a variable resolution, and an increased frame rate and use of the PS5 Pro's ray tracing features. This all sounds legit. So in order to get this enhanced tag or logo, the game must have been developed to work better with the PS5 Pro as opposed to the PS5, and it must do all of those things. And I think that's a fine thing to do. I read also, and I didn't put it in the notes, but regarding all this, is that I guess developers are kind of split on whether the push for the PS Pro is even like a meaningful thing. Sony should even be doing it. So, but you know, such is the nature of consoles. But anyways, Jake, anything on that?
I think that what do I want to say? I think that it's good that they're advertising that these games are better on Pro, but I wonder if there's going to be a thing where like developers are just not going to do it because they might do some of these things, but not all of them. You know what I mean? Like maybe they get better frame rate and they use ray tracing, but they don't want to put, I don't know, 8K graphics in it or whatever the hell it needs to have to get this particular thing. I and how does this like if they patch pre-existing games to have these features, well then those games like on the digital storefront have this tag now, or
I'm not certain.
Like how, like I'm just, you know, this is rhetorical questions here because none of us know, right? But I think that it's good to have some kind of an earmark that says these games are better on PS5. Here is your reason for owning this console, this PS5 Pro console. And whether or not it's I don't know what this does, if it does more to sell the console or if it does more to sell the game. I guess probably both.
Yeah, I think
right? If
it
people
works
have
both ways.
So, like, I would say that it probably does more to sell the console. That might be why Sony is putting this out there. But I would imagine that it still probably does a little bit to sell the games too. If people have PS5 Pro and they're like, what games are good for it? And you're a developer and you can pop up and say, hey, my game's good for it. Then people might be more willing to give it a shot. Because I have to imagine, even with these, what might be part of the strategy is that, like, with a new console, games, no matter how good or bad they are, always sell better at a console launch. Like, when console's launching, all games for that console sell better because it's a new console. So if you have a game and you put a badge on it,
Yeah.
and a new console comes out, it's almost like that experience where it's like, new consoles coming out, I want games that are good for this console. Look for the ones that have the badge on it. So this could be good for games. I haven't really. I'm just thinking about this on the fly. I haven't really thought too deeply about it, but I imagine that. Like, I wonder if they'll have like a special box and shit like that on games going forward for physical copies and stuff. Maybe they'll have like a banner or something on it that says it supports PS5 Pro or whatever. But I got to be honest, like, I won't be able to commit to this until I see how much it costs.
Yeah.
But I'll probably end up buying one just because I didn't buy a PS4 Pro and I regretted it. So, but we'll have to see. If it comes out and it's like $700, I'm probably not going to buy one. But if it comes out and it's like
$499.
500 or $600, I'll probably pick one up just to see what the hype is about. Because I'm big in frame rate. Like, that's all I want is higher frame rate. The game can look like shit as long as it runs at 60 frames for me. But if I can get a game that runs at 60 frames and also looks amazing and has 4K graphics
And ray tracing,
then
right.
plus with better ray tracing, like, hell yeah, sign me up.
Very good.
I'm all about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see how this plays out for Sony. The next news point, and this is kind of cool. The April PS Plus Essential games have been announced. It didn't take long for Immortals of Avium to be featured in April. Kind of excited about that one. And also we're getting Minecraft Legends and Skull the Hero Slayer, which I hear people who've played it actually really like. So not a bad lineup for April. I don't have anything else to say about that. I know you played Immortals and you kind of liked it. So
I would say this is a pretty good month because I've heard good, like you said, I've heard good things about Skull. I've heard good things about Minecraft Legends. And I've talked on this podcast in the past about how I think Immortals of Avium is a great game. So if what I've said on the podcast before has piqued your interest, but you haven't wanted to purchase it, now you can try it for free.
if you're a Plus member.
If you're a Plus member, obviously. But I would imagine if you listen to this podcast, you probably pay for at least the basic essential PS Plus.
I would hope so.
So, but you never know. You never know. But I would definitely, if you're into that kind of first-person shooter, sort of AA kind of fun romp, I would definitely say that you should give Immortals of Avium a shot. Because I really liked it. I did have, obviously, listen to old podcasts I've talked about. I did have a few beefs with it, but I thought it was a really good time.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next news point, listeners, as you join us in this journey of episode 322. P.S. This is awesome. This one is what it is. Jim Ryan's gone. He has left. He has left the building. And he has said that the PS5 is set to be the most successful PlayStation console ever. Now, Hiroki Totoki is temporarily stepping in as CEO. In an interview, Jim Ryan states that the PlayStation 5 is well on track to be our most successful console ever across multiple vectors. I think the games and gaming experiences you see on PS5, led by PS Studios, are the best that we've ever seen. End quote.
This is a pretty bold statement because I don't know if you saw there was a official PlayStation podcast interview with Jim Ryan about his departure, and he made a claim that he said here, I got it pulled up here on VGC. He says he says, I would say 160 million, which is the number of PS2s that we sold. So if PS2 sold 155, 160 million consoles, and they're saying that this is on track to be the best console sale, like best selling console they've ever had, that's pretty bold statement, because you're basically saying you have to you have to essentially triple your current total sales. And we're coming up on 4 years on the market already. I don't see how that's possible.
Right.
But unless he's specifically referring to like how fast it sold in the first so many years or whatever, I find it hard to believe that they're going to sell more than 160 million PS5s. But before the PS6 comes out or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know. I guess it's entirely possible. But I mean, guys like you and me, and I think a lot of the hardcore, like as soon as that next console is launched, we're going to jump to that one. So like, why wouldn't you, if you're jumping into a console, buying a console and then the new hotness is out, why would you buy the PS5? And I have to imagine if they're going to hit 160 million units, they're going to have to sell PS5s well into the PS6 life cycle. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a very bold statement, and it would be good for Sony if it happened. But Mr. Totoki is / Jim Ryan. I mean, they're pretty bullish about the PS5.
Yes, they are.
Considering they just this year or last year cut their projections on PS5 sales. That's kind of,
and they have overstocked VR2s. So I mean,
right.
Well, so what? It could just be lip service, man. Who knows? But
in this economy, you know what I mean?
Anything could fucking happen. All right. Anyways, here we go. We got two more news points, and then we're gonna get to new games, and then we're gonna close out for the day, or for the week rather. This news point comes way of Push Square, as all the others have as well. Take-Two did announce that they'd be acquiring Gearbox Entertainment from the Embracer Group. As a result, layoffs have been announced at Gearbox. That's all. So I think, I would like to think that Gearbox is going to be in better hands with Take-Two than part of the Embracer Group.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, it unfortunately means that you're going to see like layoffs, because that's the first thing that a company does when they buy another company is they cut all the heads that they can.
Yeah.
And kind of, because there's a lot of redundancies whenever a company buys another company, a lot of redundant positions. So it's unfortunate for those people at Gearbox, but hopefully this means that Borderlands 4 or whatever, they're working on is in much better hands with a cash-rich giant publisher like Take-Two is.
Hell yeah.
So, I don't know. Cool.
Dude, I agree with that. I think that, Take-Two is pretty awesome. So, I don't know. Last news point is we got some gameplay and gameplay breakdown from Ken Levine about Judas. And I haven't watched it, but it looks really fucking weird and interesting. And because this isn't a game that I don't mind getting spoiled for me, I am probably going to watch this. I didn't realize this happened this week, but when I was looking through the news, it popped up, and I was like, oh, shit. So, Jake, did you watch this at all?
I have not. I didn't even know this was out.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm pretty...
Jeff Keighley was teasing this, apparently, last week.
Interested. Dude, this came out 5 days ago?
Yeah, I heard nothing about it, dude.
Yeah, I didn't see anything either. That's really weird. I mean, I guess maybe I haven't been super plugged in because I've been sick over the past week, but yeah, I mean, I will probably watch this just because I am a big fan of BioShock and I think that I can watch this and not have the game like spoiled for me. I
Uh-huh.
want to know I just want to know a little bit more about what it's bringing me, and then I can go radio silent on this uh, until we get a release date or whatever it's going to be. So yeah, I will probably watch this. Maybe we can comment a little bit on it. Remember to talk about it a little bit next week, just because we didn't get a chance to before this
Right.
podcast. But yeah, I think I'll check it out. I am interested. I'm actually incredibly excited for this game because BioShock and BioShock Infinite are two of my favorite games. So seeing what's next is very exciting for me.
I bet it is. All right. We're moving into new games now. Every episode, we try to talk about new games hitting the PSN. There aren't a lot on my list for this week, but they are April 2nd, Saviorless on PS5, Withering Rooms on PS5. April 3rd, Deceit 2 on PS5. April 4th, Freedom Planet 2 on PS5, PS4, and Turbo Golf Racing on PS5. Those are the games for this week on the PSN, from what I could tell. And that's it, man. That is it for the show. And we're clocking in at almost an hour and a half, which is a little longer than our last two episodes. So you guys all have Prescript_N to thank for that wrestling conversation we had. So, and if you want us to talk about something, you can write us again at psisawesome@gmail.com. We prefer that you go give us $1 a month, sign up to the Patreon, patreon.com/psisawesome, and leave comments, write us there. That is where our hearts are. So they are with gaming. This has always been a labor of love. We do this and we make honestly zero profit from the podcast. I can assure you that. If you want to factor in just the fucking cost of the internet to do it every month, we are not making enough money to even cover that. So we 322 episodes. We appreciate our loyal listeners and we appreciate everybody for being along this crazy ride with us. We'll be back next week. The episodes air on Wednesday. And if you're a subscriber to Patreon, they air a day or two early. Jake, is there anything you would like to say to the listeners before we leave for the day?
No, I don't think so. I am glad that I got through this whole episode without losing my voice. It's starting to starting to get a little squeaky. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feeling good though, and I'm excited to get through Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've been eyeing up because they have that sale right now. There's a lot of shit on there that like I don't care about. Like, dude, there's so many games on there that I don't care about. But I was scrolling through it. I'm not even kidding. There must be 2,000 games on this list, and I don't fucking know.
Is it like
how.
a spring sale or something?
Yeah,
I haven't even looked.
But two games that I was interested in is the one game that I'm probably going to buy is, I don't know if you remember one of my sort of like random takes for games I was excited about for 2024 is that game Ultros.
Oh yeah.
Which was the neon colored Metroidvania side scroller game.
Yep, I remember.
It's half off right now in that sale. So I might pick it up just as something to play. My understanding is it's a pretty short experience, maybe 10 hours. Mm-hmm. So I might play that between Final Fantasy and Stellar Blade if I'm going to play that just as like a palate cleanser. Other than that, the other game that I was looking at is, have you ever seen that game on the PSN called The Ruiner? It's like a cyberpunk, like asymmetric top-down kind of game. Mm-hmm. I've always been interested in it, but have never tried it. And it's on sale right now for like $2. Yeah. So I might try that. But I was also thinking when I was scrolling through that list, I saw Squadrons in there. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll play Squadrons next. Because I think I'd really enjoy that too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to see. Like I said, I'm on the verge of beating Final Fantasy VII. So I'm looking forward to my next killer app, as it were.
Your next romp.
But yeah, but no, I'm gonna go eat some dinner after this, and then maybe watch some television and go to bed.
I'm checking right now. The only game on my wish list that is on sale that I can tell, because I keep a wish list and it just tells you. There's two. The Contra Anniversary Collection, which retails at $20, it's on sale for $3.99. And Dying Light 2, Stay Human, is $30 as opposed to $60.
That's not too bad.
50% off.
I was thinking maybe Jedi Survivor, but it's still a little bit more money than I want to pay for it. I think it's on sale for like $45 or $50 right now, and that's like, for me, that's like an easy $20 purchase. But I'm not into it at the moment.
Oh, also, yeah, this one, you get this with EA Play or whatever if you subscribe to that. But if you are not and you just want to own the game, the Dead Space remake is $28 right now on sale, 60% off.
Which game?
Dead Space.
Oh yeah.
It retails at $70. It's on sale for $28.
That's awesome.
I've
Dude,
never
that game's
played it.
amazing.
I've never played Dead Space.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You should play it. I mean, I'm not saying you spend your money how you want, but it is great. It's definitely worth playing.
So many decisions. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 322, guys. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week. Be safe out there, and go fucking play some games. Like Elden Ring, Eldest Souls, and Exoprimal. P.S.
Yes.
This is
awesome.